talked about, can a team's culture shift overnight? And, man, by the looks of it, it was like another team out there this week.
It was a great opponent to start against in the New York Football Giants, but I'm not trying to rain on the parade. But that Raiders team, it really did feel like the Wicked Witch had died. Like Josh McDaniels, the team came alive. Everyone from Max Crosby to offensive key players, everyone seems so damn happy. And it starts with a team meeting they had. I have to bring this up before we move into current day happenings. Danny, I'm sure you saw this floating around a lot, being that you're a big Raiders fan.
Oh, yeah. Starting with Jay Glazer yesterday morning.
Jay Glazer dropped this, and my goodness, fascinating. Before firing Josh McDaniels, the Raiders had a team meeting where players were able to direct their frustrations directly at Josh McDaniels.
Now, we knew all about that meeting.
Oh, yeah, but we didn't
we just
realize.
Didn't know what happened after it.
Did he get the idea from the complaint box on Bachelor in Paradise?
That or what's the day after Christmas, Bud? Is that
Festivus?
Is that Festivus, or is that around the holiday season?
They're airing their grievances?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They unloaded on Josh McDaniels, and here's what we didn't know.
Was this like NFL team rescue? Like, did John Taffer come in and gather the staff
and say, we're going to save this team?
We're going to save this team.
Here's what we're hearing now. And you said it was Jay Glazer sort of broke this.
Did you see one of the notes said, P.S. I'm horny?
Stop
That
it.
was from Billy Madison.
Oh.
That was not.
I knew I saw that somewhere.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a Billy Madison reference.
That's a good reference. The
Remember?
revolting blob.
The revolting blob?
Yeah, you have to explain it. It's not that good.
Josh McDaniels had Antonio Pierce speak on his behalf. And Pierce, in an attempt to rally up the Raiders, really get them pumped up, he talked about how he was a part of the 07 Giants, the team that beat the undefeated Patriots, explaining how you got to believe in yourself. Antonio Pierce was speaking everyone's language.
From experience.
They were getting pumped up.
Yeah.
Everyone was buying in. Pierce said the Raiders need that mindset. Everyone seemed really excited. The players loved it. Guess who didn't? Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
Apparently he told Pierce when everyone left the room, don't you ever talk about my Patriots like that. Because keep in mind, Josh McDaniels is from the Patriots and Belichick and that team and everything. So he got offended that Antonio Pierce used his old team as the example.
Yeah.
And from that point on, it went up the ladder. Everyone hears about it, and it's like, it's over. It's over.
When Mark Davis heard that, the rumor is that he was like, okay, I want the coach that said the team needs the mindset that we could beat any NFL team, not that Patriots guy.
Not the guy that's defending his Belichick days. Danny just said it best. What owner of a team? Hey, you got two guys. One that's motivating everyone and really putting things in a direction of, hey, we can do anything. Come on, let's get this team together. Versus the guy that's like, yeah, great example, but you're insulting my.
We can't undermine and underestimate, though, the pain and the fury in which someone feels to lose to another team. Clearly, he has sour grapes and a lot of resentment toward that loss to the Giants, right? He never let it go. You know what it reminds me of, Rich? Just, again, to reestablish that they don't take that kindly. Like, they take it very serious. Have you seen the Shark Tank episode, or the highlight at least, where these guys have these air fresheners or whatever? They've made some special patent where they had deals with sports teams, and they wanted to show you the air fresheners they could make with certain teams' logos on it. And they give one, and we have one for you, Mr. Cuban. And it's like a Golden State Warriors air freshener. He's like, I don't need to hear anymore. I'm out of the deal. And everyone looks at it like, yo, Mark, what's the matter? He's like, no, I don't. You guys, you blew it. You know what? You guys, you blew it. I want no part of this. I was probably your best partner, and I'm out of this. And they're like, Mark, relax. What's going on? He goes, we lost to the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs, and you hand me this air freshener? I don't want to work with you guys.
And for that reason, I'm out.
For that reason, I'm out. But, dude, it's not even that. He was so mad about that, and everyone was like, yo, dude, chill. It's an air freshener.
Yeah, big sports baby.
But he was being a sports baby because it was something he never got over, a la McDaniels here in this story.
So, fast forward. Let's get to this week's Things That Made You Go,
Let's go, baby! Things that make you go,
Things that make you go,
And I guess you got to start with the Raiders. And you saw it. You saw them just
Was
playing.
that your Chris Berman impression?
It was the Raiders.
I caught it, though. I
They
saw it.
played with an intensity and a vibe and an urgency and everything they haven't played with in so long. I don't know how you could not see the difference of a team that hesitantly couldn't move the ball at all versus a team that seemed to be playing a different game.
Different game. Defense looked good. O'Connell looking solid, throwing bullets. Danny G was talking about his long game opening up the field. Would you like to enhance that, elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, it was one of the reasons I wanted Aiden O'Connell to start a couple of weeks back, especially in that Chicago game, because unfortunately, as much as we like Jimmy G as a guy, he can't throw the deep ball very well.
No.
So teams kept stacking the box against the Raiders, and that was one of the big reasons why the O-line and Jacobs were having problems opening up holes for him. Now, with O'Connell, and he's got a big arm, what happened? They were forced to not stack the box. They had to cover the entire field, and Josh Jacobs ran wild. He ran for just over 100 yards, and then on his last run of the day, he got kicked back 5 yards, and it put his total to 98.
Oh, that's the
Yeah, it
worst.
stinks.
I've lost an over-under bet by that way. By that way, just so you know, it's the worst feeling ever. Your player prop hits a number,
Yeah.
and then negative yards happen. What?
Like,
oh no!
Well, if we're going to talk about the Raiders during things that made you go, by the way, we'll take any of your observations from this weekend. Could be from the NBA, NFL, something you watched. Let us know, 877-99 on Fox or at Covino and Rich. You mentioned Max Crosby before. Danny G, you got to tell us the story of the cigars, because here's what I noticed. You know, after the win, they showed highlights of the Raiders locker room, which was basically a follow-up to them playing cornhole and, dancing
Just having fun.
and having fun
Having
in
fun
the locker
again, yeah.
room. This time, after the win, they're all smoking cigars and dancing and listening to music, and they're having a good time, basically showing us that, man, look, the culture has changed. I thought that was sort of a staged video, but apparently it wasn't. It was Max Crosby who brought the cigars like in hopes for the big
Right.
win.
Yeah, the day before, he gave money to an equipment manager, and he told him, go get 100 nice cigars, because he felt like the Raiders were going to win. And so he had them ready and on standby because he wanted to celebrate Pierce's first W.
So it was an actual legit moment that they posted where I thought, it was like to really rub it in that we're a different team now. Maybe it was a little of both, but still something I noticed. And another thing I noticed...
Do you think there's a part of the team, think about this from this angle, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there's a part of the team that's like, no, we knew what we were capable of all along? Because Devontae Adams, among other players, were like, we have nothing against Josh McDaniels, the man. We just knew what he was doing wasn't working. And
them, yeah.
And there's got to be a part of the Raiders who also have this new vibe and attitude, because they're like, oh, wow, maybe we'll be able to unleash our talents now.
Yeah, I mean, look, speak from personal experience. Everyone could relate. Rich and I were thrilled to work for another company who made us do things their way. And deep down, we're like, we'd be so much better if you just let us do it our way. Like, you hired us to do it our way. Now you're making us do it a way that we're not comfortable with, and we can't be our best. We were stifled big time.
I just wonder if a lot of Raiders players felt like
Absolutely.
with what they're,
Because you have to say, if it translates on our level and other careers and other people can relate, of course it's going to translate in the locker room and how they play and how they're expected to play, and how different systems and different coaching could bring out a different side of these guys. Speaking of, my observation to Danny G was, Antonio Pierce, a guy who won with the Giants, a guy who commands respect, he looks like a badass on the sideline. Like, he looks like the type of guy that you want leading the Raiders, and that kind of team. I like how he looks out there. It was a cool thing to see this weekend.
So, Raiders, big storyline.